Travis Winggood, so looks like I'll do one last video. I had received Blacklist Season 6, so my collection is now complete. But the video idea is in all the hero movies, even in some superhero movies, it comes down to the people helping out. If you remember the original Superman with former Christopher Reeve, the legendary Christopher Reeve, when I guess it was the second with General Zod, and the people think that General Zod killed Superman, and so the people then think they're all gonna gang up on General Zod, and then of course General Zod technically should have annihilated them. I guess they wanted to keep it PG, or was it PG-13? I think it was PG. But regardless, it got me thinking instantly that Mormons, as well as Christians, believe that a supernatural being is going to come back for the second coming and do all the work for them, for the people, to save the people. Because the people are helpless, they can't do anything for themselves, and so they're hoping for the supernatural being to come and save them from their slavery, their bondage, their torture, their blackmail, their extortion, etc. And that's been an interesting thing to watch, as Trump purposely escalated to provoke we the people to riot. And we don't. The rest of the world is rioting for doing far less than what Trump is doing. But we the people of America are so apathetic since the civil rights movement. It's horrifying. No. And I've told you guys about Albert Pike, his letter to Giuseppe Mazzini, about how he's going to destroy Christianity by having Christians save themselves with no Jesus coming to save them. And that by doing that kind of a plan, he destroys Christianity. Because Christians then realize, where was our God? We had to save ourselves. Where was our God? And so, in those circumstances, Christians, as Albert Pike has planned, will have to create a new religion. Because the religion that they were born and raised into for generations has turned out to be a fraud. And that's when Albert Pike says, we will then step in and present them with Lucifer's religion, the religion of Satanism. And I went over how that would be done. Because they won't come in and say, hey, it's Lucifer, your buddy pal, I'll be your God now. Because nobody does it that way. Nobody just says, hey, I'm going to become Luciferian. Now, yes, there are punk kids who think that that's cool, Oh wow, dude! Shout at the devil, man! But for the most part, reasonable people who are afraid of their Christian God don't do that. And yes, I know those kind of people. I'm not making this up. I'm not being hyperbolic about this. There are those who do that, and I've grown up with them. What is going on out there? Somebody's struggling to run their motor. I worked at Denny's restaurant in a hotel that's long gone now, as I had followed up on what's going on up there in Lethbridge, Alberta. He was a self-proclaimed warlock. Yeah, I'm a warlock. Oh, okay. And then there was another woman who was investigating the church, who was attending Institute there, along with the rest of Mormons in the area. And she was saying that the Mormon church and the Wiccans were the two churches that she's found to be the most accurate, and she was deciding between the two of them. Oh my God, just hilarious. The lime in the Cocoa Puffs and whatever the song goes. I didn't care much for the song. It was more thinking it was cool that the little what's her name, Miss Speed Bus, and Hope Floats and Demolition Man, can't remember her name. As a little girl, she makes that spell of her soulmate. So, there was a person who commented on one of my videos last month who brought that to my attention. Sandra Bullock. But, I don't know. People are that dumb. They go for the bad guy, and they know he's the bad guy. They keep getting beaten up by the bad guy, and they still think they love him, and they can change him. It's like Mormons in the Mormon church. Except for, well, yeah, it's exactly like it. A beaten and abused girlfriend. That's what Mormons are. Who just continue to stick with their abused bully of a religion. Yep. Speed 2 did not get enough credit as it ought to have. I mean, yeah, it didn't have Keanu Reeves, and she cheated on him to go after another guy, and then the show said, oh, it was Keanu's fault. Come on, we all know it was Sandra's fault. Anyway. But, yeah, Mormons, I just did that video today, and of course it's not getting the attention because I didn't title it right. You guys only pay attention if the title is just right for you to click on. And that sucks. So, c'est la vie. Yeah. I read the talk from Joseph Smith, who gave a completely different second coming than what Mormons have been led to believe, because Brigham Young refused to publish that speech by Joseph Smith. And the funny thing is that was my plans. As I showed you my screensaver on that computer, and it's on this one as well. This one has a star thing. When Jupiter was at the Tree of Life with the sun. The sun, not yeah, I had that one on when the West Valley City Police first came to me and said, crime is not a crime, we're not going to investigate any further, quit complaining. I remember seeing Natalie Johansson's face as she looked at that and went, just a bunch of haters. That's all they are. And just waiting to blow someone away with their guns. We've got a license to kill! Gonna kill these people! That'll calm them down, make them fear us! You don't think that's what the police officers here in Utah are thinking? You got another thing coming. Got another thing coming. I am surprised that they really don't give tickets for jaywalking here. That's kind of surprising. Idaho doesn't do it either. But I can sort of understand because there's not as much people there, and maybe that's why Utah, I guess. You'd think that would be a great way to haul people off to jail. Ah, you tried crossing the street where there wasn't a sidewalk. Where there wasn't a crosswalk. You do know that's what they do, right? They get you arrested for any little thing so that they can make their quota and get the money for the jails. And they force people to plead guilty, otherwise they ruin your life by keeping you there until you do plead guilty. And if you don't plead guilty, they've got other ways of dealing with you so that you never go to trial. Only the rich go to trial. And so those who make bail and surprise them, they're like, uh-oh. What do we do now? I don't have any court experience, trial experience. I'm not qualified to handle this. It's just a bunch of corruption going on here. So, alright. And yeah, I'm not watching Chris Hayes. He's just doing a whole Biden show. It's just pathetic. It's not news. The news is, what will Trump do to rig the election to prevent Biden from winning? That's the news. Instead, they're saying, oh, Biden, is he gonna win? Is he going to do it for us? Is he going to get enough delegates? Oh my God. Yep. In the last days, people will lose hope. And that was Albert Pike's plan, cause people to lose hope. So, alrighty. That was basically it, Mormons. Your God is not coming. You're looking for the wrong man. And I went over Joseph Smith's prophecy of the last days. Joseph Smith had a man in mind, like him. Joseph Smith originally thought it was going to be him. And by 1840, when he gave that talk, he then realized, no, I'm like Jesus, who's going to die and fail. But he knew what needed to be done in preparation for the coming of this man. And he was murdered, as he predicted, and failed. Just like Jesus of the Gospels failed. Yet Christians still carry on that hope. Someday. Can't remember the rest of the lyrics. There'll be a place for us. Something like that. Alrighty. If I make this too long, then it won't be timed right with whatever. I'll give Rachel a try, hoping that she won't carry on this nonsense of Biden. It's not looking good. Rachel is why I came to MSNBC. She was actual real news, investigative news. She was putting all the pieces together, and it was awesome. But I did notice Chris Matthews got replaced. Joy Reid, she typically fills in when people go on vacation, so she may be filling in until MSNBC figures out a permanent replacement. But if she's the permanent replacement, that's good job, Joy. So, interesting. That's prime time, Joy. That's awesome, girl. Alrighty. So, maybe good night. Unless I have something happen like what happened last night. Oh my hell. But yeah, right at bedtime, without fail. That's why I keep these post-it notes at my bed with a pen, opened and ready to go. Because without fail, I come up with all sorts of stuff. And many of it just gets piled up there in that pile down there and never gotten to. And videos have been a quicker means of producing the results of what I want, far faster than any book could ever do. But YouTube is not the best source, because it's not reaching the amount of people that could be reached if we did away with these analytical programs. We're under attack, guys. And everybody's apathetic, waiting for someone else to step in and save the day. Nobody wants to do the saving themselves or join a group to save, a resistance group. And when Trump got started, there were resistance groups. Where are they now? You know, I'm still part of the resistance that I formed, but I'm still the only member. And now I formed an LDS resistance group when I found out about church history, and so now I'm still the only member. There are, yes, I know you guys, there are those of you who post my videos on Facebook. Thank you. But nobody's actually involved to do more. And maybe you can't. Maybe we have been conquered by the church. That's sad. Alrighty. Tomorrow should get the waiver. This is the earliest I should be getting it. It should be here tomorrow. So around 10 o'clock, that's when this mailman seems to be getting here. So stay tuned.